Have you ever wondered how a nation is born? Today, we journey back to the birth of a significant nation, Germany. Let's delve into the rich tapestry of time, to an era when the concept of a unified Germany was but a distant dream. Our tale begins with the Holy Roman Empire, a complex confederation of territories in Central Europe, ruling over a vast expanse from the 8th century to the 19th. This was not a unified nation, but a patchwork of independent states, each with its own ruler and system of governance. Fast forward to the rise of Prussia, a formidable northern state that would play a pivotal role in shaping Germany's destiny. Its disciplined military and efficient administration, coupled with a strategic alliance with the newly formed Kingdom of Italy, set the stage for a dynamic shift in the balance of power in Europe. Enter Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian statesman whose political acumen and diplomatic finesse would forever change the course of German history. Guided by a vision of a united German nation, Bismarck artfully navigated the turbulent waters of European politics. His realpolitik, or politics based on practical objectives rather than ideals, led to a series of wars that culminated in the defeat of France in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 to 1871. This victory was the final piece in Bismarck's grand puzzle, leading to the unification of disparate German states under the leadership of Prussia. On January 18, 1871, in the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles, the German Empire was proclaimed, with King Wilhelm I of Prussia crowned as its first emperor. Thus, the foundation of modern Germany was laid, setting the stage for a tumultuous journey ahead. The World Wars, cataclysmic events that forever reshaped the world and Germany. The early 20th century was marked by a storm of conflict and change, with Germany at the epicenter of two global wars. The First World War, a devastating and brutal conflict, saw the German Empire as one of the central powers locked in a struggle with the Allied forces. This war of attrition, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, left Germany defeated and burdened with the heavy yoke of the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, was not just a peace agreement, but a verdict that placed the blame for the war squarely on Germany. The nation was forced to accept severe territorial losses, demilitarization, and crippling reparations. This punitive treaty left Germany economically and socially ravaged, sowing the seeds of resentment that would later germinate into another catastrophic conflict. World War II, from 1939 to 1945, saw Germany under the banner of the Third Reich, once more embroiled in a global conflict. This war, even more devastating than the first, concluded with Germany's unconditional surrender and left the nation physically shattered and morally bankrupt. The Nazi regime's atrocities had scorched the soul of the nation, leaving a deep and painful legacy. The aftermath of World War II was a defining moment for Germany. The nation was divided into 4 zones of occupation by the victorious Allied powers. The eastern part, under Soviet control, became the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, while the western zones, under the United States, Britain and France, merged to form the Federal Republic of Germany, or West Germany. This division, both physical and ideological, would come to define Germany's identity in the decades to follow. In the ashes of war, a divided Germany emerged, setting the stage for a unique period in its history. Imagine living in a country divided by a wall, not just of concrete and barbed wire, but of ideologies. In the aftermath of World War II, Germany found itself split into 2 distinct halves. The West, under the influence of America, the UK and France, began to shape itself around a capitalist economic model. The East, conversely, was under the thumb of the Soviet Union and adopted a communist system. This division wasn't just theoretical, it was a physical, tangible reality, especially in Berlin, where a wall was built in 1961 to separate the 2 halves of the city. The Berlin Wall, a chilling symbol of Cold War tensions, ran its course through neighborhoods, tearing apart friends, families, and communities. The West, known as the Federal Republic of Germany, thrived economically under its capitalist system. It became a beacon of prosperity and democracy. Meanwhile, the East, the German Democratic Republic, was a stark contrast. Its economy struggled under the weight of a centrally planned system, and civil liberties were heavily curtailed. Despite the hardships, the people of East Germany found ways to express themselves, often through art and music. They dreamt of a day when they could reunite with their fellow Germans in the West, a dream that seemed almost impossible behind the formidable Iron Curtain. The Iron Curtain wasn't just a physical barrier, but a symbol of the ideological divide between the East and the West. It represented the struggle between capitalism and communism, a struggle that was at the heart of the Cold War. And at the center of this struggle was Germany, a country divided, a nation torn in two. But as we'll see in our next scene, even the strongest walls can be brought down, and the winds of change can blow away the heaviest of curtains. For nearly half a century, the wall stood as a stark symbol of a divided nation and a divided world. But even symbols, as powerful as they may be, can crumble under the weight of human spirit. And it is this spirit, this desire for unity and freedom, that would eventually bring about the end of the Berlin Wall. Change, as they say, is the only constant. And in the late 20th century, change swept over Germany. In the 1980s, the winds of change began to blow across the Eastern Bloc, and Germany was no exception. East Germany, long under the tight grip of the Soviet Union, found itself caught in a whirlwind of political and societal shifts. The communist regime in East Germany had been facing mounting pressure from both within and outside its borders. Inside, the citizens were growing increasingly discontented with the lack of freedoms and the poor economic conditions. They yearned for change, for openness, for a life not dictated by the constraints of a single-party system. Meanwhile, on the international stage, the landscape was shifting too. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of Mikhail Gorbachev, was adopting policies of glasnost and perestroika, openness and restructuring respectively. This was a marked departure from the previous hardline stance, and it sent ripples throughout the Eastern Bloc. In East Germany, these ripples turned into waves. The people saw an opportunity for change and seized it. Protests erupted across the country, with people demanding freedom, democracy, and an end to the division. The Berlin Wall, once an unassailable symbol of division, became the focal point of these demonstrations. The East German government, initially resistant, found itself unable to stem the tide. The pressure was too great, the demand for change too overwhelming. And slowly, the iron grip began to loosen. Travel restrictions were eased, allowing East Germans to visit the West. It was a small step, but a significant one. It signaled a softening of the hardline stance and gave people a taste of the freedoms they so desperately sought. And then, one cold November night, the wall fell, and a new chapter in Germany's history began. The winds of change had blown down the barrier that had divided a nation for decades, paving the way for a future of unity and freedom. Reunification, a word that symbolized hope, change, and a new beginning for Germany. It was a dream that seemed far off in the distance, and yet, it was a dream that was about to become a reality. The year was 1990. The Berlin Wall, a physical and symbolic barrier that had divided East and West Germany for more than 4 decades, had fallen just a year prior. The process of reunification was no easy task. There were challenges to overcome, from economic disparities to political disagreements. East Germany, or the German Democratic Republic, had a centrally planned economy under Soviet influence, while West Germany, or the Federal Republic of Germany, had a market economy bolstered by the Marshall Plan. Merging these two very different systems was a Herculean task. Yet, the German people were resolute. The desire for unity ran deep, stronger than any ideological or economic divide. They wanted to be one nation, one people, under one flag. It was a sentiment that echoed in the streets, in the homes, and in the hearts of Germans, from Berlin to Bonn, from Hamburg to Dresden. On October 3, 1990, after months of negotiations, the two Germanys came together. The German Democratic Republic ceased to exist, absorbed into the Federal Republic of Germany. The dream had been realized. Yes, there were obstacles still to overcome. There were differences still to reconcile, but the German people were ready to face them together. The impact of reunification was profound. It was not just about merging economies or political systems. It was about healing a wound that had been festering for far too long. It was about families torn apart by the Iron Curtain coming together. It was about a people divided by walls and ideologies, finding their way back to each other. And so, a divided nation became a united one, marking a